So dear students of VA Part 2, at first a very warm morning to all of you. Dear students, your examination is on in Munger University, and for the students of TMBU and other universities, the examination is knocking at the door. It can start any moment. So you must be preparing yourself for that particular examination. Now in fourth paper, dear students, you have to read 4 books. One is Prose Down the Ages, the other is The Old Man and the Sea, then you have Pride and Prejudice, and the last but not the least is The Mayor of Casterbridge. Questions will be set from all these 4 books, and you have to answer them. There will be one alternative each for each question. And the most important thing where you face some problems is the explanation. Explanation will be set from all the 4 books, and out of those 4 explanatory passages set from all the 4 books, you have to answer the 2. It means you have to select 2 books for the work of explanation. That means for the purpose of explanation. And those 2 books which will be very easy for you to explain is Prose Down the Ages, as you have to go through 4 or 5 essays in that essay collection, in that prose anthology, and the other book will be The Old Man and the Sea. Today I have a good mind to discuss a few essays which have been set or which have been prescribed for you for your coming examination, for the especially for the point of view of or from the point of view of explanation, so that it might strengthen you as far as explaining the lines is concerned. Now in that series, the first chapter is Life and Death. This chapter, the life and death, has been taken from the authorized version of the Bible, which was published in 1611. You must keep it in your mind from the point of view of objective. Questions are set in which year the authorized version of the Bible was published. So it was 1611, and in this chapter the emphasis has been given upon life. The only reality on this planet, on this earth, is death. Things are not as they seem to be. The earth is round, it seems to be flat. Earth and sky never seems to be meeting, seems to be touching each other, which is known as horizon. But that place is nowhere where we can see the closure of the earth and sky. But death is the certainty. The living creature has to die. But it is true that with every passing breath, we are marching towards our grave. Grave is our ultimate destiny, no doubt. But grave is not only our destiny, because we can live upon this earth when we are not physically alive. We can live upon this earth beyond our life also, through our works. Great persons live beyond their goal. Lives of great men all remind us we can make our life sublime and leave behind us footprints on the sands of टाइम. समय की बालुका राशि पर हम अपने फुटप्रिंट्स छोड़ के जा सकते हैं. तो फुटप्रिंट्स, कौन सा फुटप्रिंट्स फॉलो होता है? फुटप्रिंट्स वही फॉलो होता है जो कुछ अच्छा करके गया है, Otherwise, there are so many footprints. We never follow them. We come and we die. But it is said, कहा जाता है कि मरने वाले तो बेबस हैं, जीने वाले कमाल करते हैं. There is a line here. See, for to him that is joined to all the living, there is hope. For a living dog is better than a dead lion. It's a very very important line. मौत अंजामे जिंदगी है, मगर लोग मरते हैं फ्रेंड्स जिंदगी के लिए. It is better to live and live in any critical situation. A living dog is a dog, and lion is a lion. There can't be a comparison between the power and strength of both these two animals, dog and lion. There is a difference of earth and sky between the strength, power, beauty of these two animals. But the Bible says a lion, if dead, is of no importance. A dog, if living, is of great importance. So if there is a man, and he had been a scholar, he had been a great person, suppose, and if he dies, APJ Abdul Kalam has died, his body has been buried. Dr. Rajendra Prasad passed away, his body has been cremated. Ramdhari Singh Dinkar passed away. What happened to his body? His body has been consigned to flames. He is no more. But he is present with us through his works, through his achievements. So, the Bible says that if you are living, you have to work. It is said, friends, कि जिंदगी, रास्ते कहाँ कभी खत्म होते हैं जिंदगी के सफर में, रास्ते कहाँ कभी खत्म होते हैं जिंदगी के सफर में, मंजिल तो वहां है जहां ख्वाहिशें थम जाएं, जहां आपकी इच्छा थम जाती है. When your desire dies, that is your death. When you lose your hope, you die. When you stop reading, when you stop thinking, when you establish inimical rapport with words, you die. So it is better to work and work incessantly, for the living know that they shall die. अरे जो जिंदा है उसी को पता होगा ना कि हम मरेंगे, जो मर गया. But the dead know not anything, neither have they any more a reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. Even if you are a very great person, if you die, your memory is short-lived. You are forgotten. You are remembered only when you have done some great works for the society, for the humanity. So, a living man can do anything. A dead person can't do anything. We have been sent upon this earth to work incessantly, work with faith and hope. Gita, what does the Gita say? Karmanyeva adhikarastu ma phalesu kadachana. The nature, you must have seen, the nature works incessantly. प्रकृति हमेशा काम करती रहती है. For whom? For us. For whom? For life. Nature sustains life. We have been sent upon this earth with the very purpose that we have to serve humanity, we have to serve the ailing people, जो बीमार लोग हैं, we have to serve the needy one, we have to continue our task, we have to continue our work. We must live like a hero. We must not live our life like a zero in any condition. Again, here it says, let thy garments be always white, and let thy head lack no ointment. Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest, and all days of life. What does the Bible says here? We have been sent upon this earth to live joyfully, to live with peace, to eat the bread which has been provided to us by the Almighty. If Almighty has provided you bread without salt, you can say, without a vegetable, be happy. He might have provided some bread and butter. He might have provided some bread and more vegetables. Some of us have 2 legs. Some of us have 1. Some of us have 2 hands. Some of us have 1. Some of us walk upon our legs. Some of us walk with the help of crutches. बैसाखी लेके चलते हैं. तो जो हमको दिया गया है, whatsoever has been provided to us by the Almighty, we must try to live in that particular condition with that sweet contentment, with satisfaction, with joy, with happiness, or with faith, with hope. Again says here, like the line says here, whatever thy hand findest to do, do it with all thy might. For there is no work, no device, no knowledge, no wisdom in the grave whither thou goest. No work is a mean work. No work is a low work. Provided it does not harm one. Provided it is a good work. Provided there is no violence in that particular work. कोई भी काम अगर उससे किसी को नुकसान नहीं पहुंचता हो, किसी का जीवन नहीं जाता हो, तो वो वर्क छोटा वर्क नहीं है. Whatsoever work he provides you to do. Dear friends, I have told you, Shakespeare says, there is providence even in the fall of a sparrow. Once again, I should repeat the line for you. Shakespeare says in one of his dramas, there is providence even in the fall, F-A-L-L, of a sparrow. And in 18th century, Mr. Pope says, man proposes and God disposes, and none can dispose if God proposes. आदमी सोचता है, उसका सोचा हुआ नहीं होता है, भगवान उसको डिस्पोज कर देता है. And when God proposes, none can dispose it of. जब भगवान प्रपोज कर देता है, यानी भगवान ने आपके लिए जो कर दिया, उस पावर ने, ऑलमाइटी ने, सुपर पावर ने, जो कुछ भी अगर है, उसने अगर कर दिया तो उसको कोई मिटा भी नहीं सकता है. इसलिए हम लोग गांव देहात में रामचरितमानस पढ़ते हैं और कहते हैं ना कि जो लिखी हुई लकीर है, ब्रह्मा ने जो लकीर लिख दी है, उसको कोई मिटा नहीं सकता है. और हम कहते हैं कि उसकी मर्जी के बिना पत्ता भी नहीं हिलता है. We must strive, we must struggle, we must do whatsoever work has been. You might have seen a successful man telling you the story. Yeah, I have started my life by selling that ones. After that, I have done that work. After that, I have done that work. You must have read the story of Sahara India, Subrata Roy Sahara. You might have read the story of APJ Abdul Kalam. You might have read the story of Dhirubhai Ambani selling nuts, working at petrol pumps. Subrata Roy Sahara, he has just started that particular business with 2 or 3 chairs and 1 table, with 4 or 5,000 rupees, with 2 or 3 persons. And see here, at presently, lakhs and lakhs of people earn their livelihood from that particular company or from that particular bank or institution, you can say. So no work is mean work, no work is a low work. Do क्यों और कैसे कीजिए? Do wholeheartedly with utmost sincerity, because dear students or my dear friends, only sincerity pays. If you do any work half-heartedly, you are not going to be successful. So do it with utmost commitment, with determination, with hope and faith. Go on doing, because there is in grave there is no work to be done. In grave there is no work to be done. कब्र में कोई करने के लिए आपको कोई काम नहीं मिलेगा, कोई काम ही नहीं है कब्र में करने के लिए. तो before we enjoy our last sleep, we have to work and work and work with continuity. Therefore, you might have read that particular poem, Stopping by the Woods, by Robert Frost. What does the poet say in the last line? In the last stanza, woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep. That sleep is symbolical. That sleep stands for the last sleep, which all of us have to enjoy. Which all of us are destined to enjoy. But before that sleep, we have to work, we have to go, and we have to go. So this is, in a nutshell, this is your life and death. Now we should go for another prose piece. Now another very important chapter or another very important essay for you is of studies. Many a times explanations are set from this prose piece. This prose piece is often quotable, and in this prose piece, that is of studies, Francis Bacon highlights the different nuances, different aspects of studies. The title is of studies. It means about studies. Studies के बारे में, what is studies? Why? What is? What for? How? For how many hours? For whom? All these things have been emphasized upon by the essayist in this essay. Bacon, you know, is an Elizabethan essayist, and he is the first essayist, you can say, of English literature. Before him, there was no essayist in English literature. So he is the founder essayist, you can say. He has done the yeoman service in the field of essays. He belongs to Elizabethan age. Here, see what he says, what is his opinion, what is his observation regarding studies. See what does he say? Studies serve for delight, for ornament, and for ability. The chief use for delight is in privateness and retiring. For ornament, it is in discourse, and for ability is in the judgment and disposition of business. See, how does what you can say bombastic, you can say, start this essay has. Bacon has this merit. He starts almost all his essays with some peculiarity, you can say. What does he say? Studies serve for delight. Please be attentive. Yes, try to listen to me. Studies serve for delight. There are three functions of studies. Three. Providing delight. The other one is to provide ornament. That is ornamentation. And the third is to make one able. First purpose. The first objective of studies is to entertain, is to delight. The second one is to ornament, that is ornamentation. And third one is ability. It means it makes one able. When it provides you delight, when you go through some literary work in your privateness, when you are all alone, when you are in a retiring mood, it provides you delight. You might have experienced it. Sometimes you read stories of Panchtantra. Sometimes you read some stories of Premchand. Sometimes you read some stories of Shakespeare. You are all alone there. No one is there, and still, and you find your lips go widening. आप अकेले ही हैं और आपके जो होठ है वो फैलने लगते हैं. In a smile, your teeth come out. In giggle, you start laughing. You start smiling. Why? Because it provides you delight. Ornamentation of personality. Ornamentation of personality is in discourse. When some scholars are sitting together at one table, and a discussion is going upon some topic, you can say, and there, if you fail to speak, if you fail to deliver, if you fail to express yourself nicely upon that topic, you feel guilty, you feel ashamed of yourself, and others may assume, others may make an opinion regarding you that your knowledge upon that topic is little one. You are not a scholar, you are not a well-read man. So when you are in discourse, the studies serve there the purpose of ornamentation. And when you have to solve some problem, when you have to solve some problems, when you have to do away with some business, studies provide you ability. It makes you able how to solve that particular problem, how to make some judgment. That is, then he says, to spend too much time in studies is sloth, to use them too much for ornament is affectation, to make judgment wholly by their rules is the humor of a scholar. You might have seen some of the students opening the book bhore early in the morning at 6 baje and closing the book at the sunset at 6 baje शाम में. सुबह खोलने के बाद शाम में फिर किताब बंद कर रहे हैं, बैठे हुए हैं सुबह से लेकर शाम तक किताब खोल के बैठे हुए हैं. It's not possible, because dear students, the toughest task upon the earth is to read. The toughest task, because here you have to concentrate your mind. So Bacon says there is no necessity to spend too much time. Too much. You might have read in grammar, remove to. आपने वहां देखा होगा कि टू वर्ड जो है सब जो है वो नेगेटिविटी की हो जाता है. Oh, he is, जैसे to be smart is a good thing. One must be smart. But when someone says don't be over smart, he is too smart. अब वो जो स्मार्ट है उसका वो नेगेटिव चला गया. He is too smart. और she is too intelligent. Too intelligent नेगेटिव चला गया. बहुत दिमाग लगाती है, बहुत मतलब जरूरत से ज्यादा. तो यहाँ कहता है कि don't spend. To spend too much time in studies is the sign of slothness, laziness. Dear students, आप अगर बहुत अधिक सिटिंग मारते हैं, इतनी सिटिंग मारते हैं कि आपके बैठे बैठे वो कुर्सी पे छेद हो जाए, तो समझ जाइए that is the symbol of, that is the sign of your laziness, your sloth. वो आपकी आलस्य की निशानी है. You are not a good student. फिर कहते हैं to use them too much for ornament is affectation, showiness. Suppose you are at village with villagers, with your relatives. They do not know Shakespeare. They do not know how to speak in English. They speak in their local language, and there you go and start speaking of Shakespeare in fluent English. What are you doing there? Just you are trying to show that you have the caliber to express yourself in English. You can express yourself in English, and those people will laugh at you. Those people, since they fail to understand you, they will criticize you, they will speak ill of you. आपके जाने के बाद हो सकता है, उस समय नहीं बोले, लेकिन आपके जाने के बाद वो बोल सकते हैं देखबे रहे, दिखा रहा था, बंतु बन रहा था, बन रहा था. तो it minuses, it doesn't add, it minuses, it subtracts from your personality. That is your affectation. And last, if you judge always by the rule, sometimes you become a matter of laughing stock. People laugh at you. आप हमेशा अगर लकीर के फकीर बन के चलते हैं, there is a great difference between the knowledge of book and between the worldly knowledge and practical knowledge. Suppose, dear students, suppose one of you means Monica. Suppose one of you is going somewhere. You are keeping to your left. आप बाएं से चल रहे हैं, because time and again you have been asked by your parents, by teachers, or everyone that जब आप सड़क पर चलते हैं तो you must keep to your left. Monica is doing the same thing, but a buffalo is running towards her. Someone tells her, suggests her, oh, run away, come to the right, give that buffalo the way. And she insists, no, why should I? The buffalo should go. Buffalo should lead the way. Why should I? My father, my parents have told, keep to the left. My teacher has told me, keep to the left. From my childhood, I am keeping to the left. What will happen? That buffalo is going to hit you. It might raise you upon its head, might twiddle you, and you might see stars even in the sunlight. And after that, after letting you see the stars, twiddling you 2 or 3 times, it will throw you in a ditch full of mud. And naturally, the friends of Monica are going to laugh at her. It will be a story. Why? She was right. She has read it in her book. So always, if you make judgments always by the things you have read, so there is a chance for you to be the laughing stock. Then says, crafty men condemn studies, simple men admire them, and wise men use them. 3 categories of people: crafty men, simple men, and wise men. And see the minute observation of Francis Bacon. He says that those crafty men are the peoples. The crafty men are those who earn their livelihood. Who earn their livelihood through their ancestral business, like carpenters, like barbers, like goldsmiths, like ironsmiths, etc., etc. When the offsprings, means when the sons of these people get much education, you can say, they do not want to do or carry on their ancestral business. A carpenter's son doesn't want to go to the field of carpentry. If the son of a barber gets degree, BA degree in honors degree in English honors, suppose he says, no father, I'm not going to now adopt that carry on that business. I'm not going to cut the locks of others. This way, the studies damage their ancestral business, you can say. Therefore, they do not have high opinion regarding studies. Simple men simply admire or speak very high of studies. Oh, studies is a very good thing. One must study. पढ़े से बहुत कुछ होई है. This होता है, that होता है, पर्सनालिटी बनती है, etc. etc. वो केवल बोल के रह जाते हैं. They are simply bullying people. They are simply praising people, you can say. The last category, those who are wise, they use it. Therefore, he says here, wise men use them. जो wise लोग होते हैं, जो बुद्धिमान होते हैं, they use studies. And then he says once again, read not to contradict and confute, not to believe and take for granted, not to find talk and discourse, but to wait and consider. And the most important line now here is here, some books are to be tested, others to be swallowed, and some few to be chewed and digested. This line is often quoted line. I have told you, Bacon is an often quoted essayist. Bacon writes in epigrammatic language, सूत्रात्मक वाक्य. These lines are what? These lines are formula lines, you can say. These lines are the seed lines, you can say. इसको बीज वाक्य आप करते हैं. Seed line है ये. Bacon comes here with the 3 categories of books. यानी कि Bacon makes category of books. According to Bacon, there are 3 categories of books. किताबों की 3 variety, 3 category. Some books are to be tested. मैं बच्चों के समझदारी के लिए, आपकी समझदारी के लिए मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ, these types of books are चटनिया बुक. जैसे हम लोग खाना खाते हैं तो चटनी को चाटते हैं, वैसे ही कुछ किताबें होती हैं वेरी वेरी क्या कहते हैं, हैविंग लेस इंपॉर्टेंस, यू कैन से, like cheap magazines, you can say, like Saras Salil or this one or that one, cheap magazines, which you read, which you go through, the pages you turn, what, just for time pass, you can say, while you are in some journey or etc. etc. Those books. The second category of books, some to be swallowed, घोटू जिसको हम घोटते हैं, लाइक जीके जीएस, चूंकि एग्जामिनेशन में पूछता है जीके जीएस. Therefore, the students perspire or student learn the dates, figures, etc. etc. तो some books are to be swallowed, उसको हम निगलते हैं. And the third category, यह बनती हैं, यहाँ पर एक इसका भी एग्जांपल है, फिगर ऑफ स्पीच क्लाइमैक्स का. क्लाइमैक्स कब होता है? क्लाइमैक्स यह देखिए, क्लाइमैक्स तब होगा जब कुछ चीजें एक जगह इकट्ठा होंगी और पहले आएगी कम इंपॉर्टेंट, फिर उसके बाद इंपॉर्टेंट, फिर उसके बाद इंपॉर्टेंट, यानी कि जो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट होगा वो सबसे लास्ट में आएगा. तो यह देखिए जैसे एग्जांपल है, देयर इज द एग्जांपल ऑफ क्लाइमैक्स, दैट इज अ फिगर ऑफ स्पीच. कहता है ना, सम बुक्स आर टू बी टेस्टेड, यानी वेरी लो, देन some to be swallowed, उसके बाद दूसरा इंपॉर्टेंस उसका आया, एंड थर्ड वन few to be chewed and digested. कुछ किताबें ऐसी होती हैं जो कि क्या की जाती हैं, chewed, चबाई जाती हैं और पचाई जाती हैं. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि घर जाके मैकबेथ उठा के चबाने लगिएगा. It is chewed means it must be, those books are read thoroughly. उन किताबों को कैसे पढ़ा जाता है? thoroughly पढ़ाया जाता है, लाइन बाय लाइन पढ़ा जाता है ना. उन पर आपको पॉन्डर करना होता है, लोग विचार करते हैं, उस पर सोच करते हैं. तो च्यूड एंड डाइजेस्टेड मतलब पचा लिया जाना, यानी व्हाटसोएवर यू रीड इन दोज लाइन्स, व्हाटसोएवर आइडियाज यू गेट इन दोज लाइन्स, यू इम्प्लीमेंट, यानी कि दोज आइडियाज आर इम्प्लीमेंटेड इन लाइव्स. देन once again here see, Reading maketh a full man, conference a ready man, and writing an exact man. Once again, the very important, very important line. Reading maketh a full man. Reading, conference, and writing. If you want to be a scholar, dear students, you have to read more and more and more. If you want to be a rich man, if you want to have the bank balance, you have to earn and you have to deposit more and more. अगर आप लखपति बनना चाहते हैं, करोड़पति बनना चाहते हैं, तो अर्न करना पड़ेगा और उस अर्न किए हुए को बैंक में डिपॉजिट करना होगा, तभी तो होगा। आप निकालते जा रहे तो कहां से होगा? तो रीडिंग मेकेथ ए फुल मैन, यानी कि रीडिंग क्या है? रीडिंग पेट्रोल पंप का वो पाइप है। जब आप पेट्रोल पंप पर जाती हैं, क्या करता है? वो पेट्रोल मांगती हैं तो टंकी में पेट्रोल डालता है, तो पेट्रोल डालता है तो टंकी गेट्स फिल्ड। तो रीडिंग गेट्स द टंकी ऑफ योर माइंड फुल विथ नॉलेज। बात समझ गए? आपके दिमाग में की जो टंकी है उसको नॉलेज के पेट्रोल से वो फुल कर देता है। कौन? रीडिंग। कॉन्फ्रेंस अ रेडी मैन, आप खाना बनाना जानती हैं, यू नो, लेकिन कभी बनाया ही नहीं, तो यू कांट बी ए गुड कुक। You know the art of swimming, you have learned so many books upon the art of swimming, but you have never entered in the swimming pool. You can't be a swimmer. Yeah, you are a well-read man. You are a well-read man. You have read so many things, so many books upon Shakespeare, but you have not got a chance to express yourself on Shakespeare. You can't be a good orator. So conference makes one ready. Conference आदमी को क्या बनाता है? Ready बनाता है, मतलब आदमी तैयार रहता है। Yeah, I am ready. Give me any topic. Give me any topic. I will make a discourse. So seminars, symposiums, conferences, all these things sharpen your knowledge. They bring brightness to your knowledge. And the third one, writing makes one exact. So if you want to be exact, you have to write more and more. So these are some of the important lines which I have discussed for you in Office Studies.